What modern social trend pisses you off the most? Posting your kids' entire lives online. Spoiler alert. Glorifying celebrities and treating them like gods. Like, I understand being a fan of someone, but you don't have to create an entire livelihood around them or try to emulate them. This is also how people get into positions of power when they shouldn't be. Making young children into social media stars. It's fine to share pictures of your kids with friends, but aggressively documenting and marketing your family life for the public at large is creepy. Public grieving. And berating those who don't grieve publicly. When Chadwick Boseman passed away, people were hounding his co-stars regarding their responses. When Malik B of The Roots passed away, Questlove actually found out by being spammed on Twitter by a bunch of strangers. Imagine finding out one of your closest friends died because random strangers wanted an immediate response from you. The reaction that provokes on me is more cringe than pissing me off, but I am sick of the XXXX react to YYYY videos. It's just so embarrassing to see these people acting out a reaction just to satisfy the actual consumers of the product that is being reacted upon. How everything needs to be on social media. I have to explicitly say to family members, please don't put this on social media at family events, etc. As an example, trying to post that I had gotten engaged on Facebook before I'd even got to tell close family and friends who weren't actually there. I'm just so glad the licking things at the store trend is over. It is over. Right? Please tell me that's finally done. The celebration of bad attitudes, habits and toxic traits. People would rather be praised for being a villain than to be obscure. People would rather give praise to a villain than to spend a moment not entertained. This obviously hasn't been as big a deal for the last year or so, but the lack of basic etiquette around invitations or even just making plans. People feel absolutely free to not respond until the last minute while waiting for something better to come along. And they don't think it's rude to cancel last minute or just not show up without letting you know. Letting little kids have social media, unsupervised. They are not equipped to handle any of it. So many conflicts spawn out of it. To be honest, most adults cannot handle social media. Family vloggers horrify me. The concept of exploiting your children's lives for views is particularly awful. And because it's a relatively new concept, there are no real laws around child labor or exploitation concerning it. There are YouTubers out there right now who live in mansions worth millions of dollars that they got from shoving a camera in their toddler's face and demanding them to perform for strangers. I can't even imagine the psychological repercussions this will have on these kids in the future. Advertising slowly taking over every single aspect of our lives. I'm not really exaggerating when I say over 90% of the mail and phone calls I get are junk or scams. Data we generate simply by being online being sold to the highest bidder without any real way of stopping it. Which in turn fuels more ads. When shopping more than once at a larger grocery store? Congrats. You now get suspiciously tailored coupons mailed and emailed to you even though you don't remember ever giving them your addresses. Meaning it's probably linked to your credit card and banking info. The internet is great for knowledge if you look in the right places and allows discovery of fascinating things. But it does sometimes feel like we sold our souls to somebody for it. How quickly misinformation spreads through social media. Treating opinion as fact and fact as opinion. 1. Everyone has a right to have a voice on the internet, but not everyone deserves a following authority influence. Just because you paid off your car doesn't mean you're qualified to become a financial coach. 2. Couples recording pranks on each other that are so painfully staged. It's the same super popular trends that are reproduced. Like, do you really need to act so shocked the 10th time your girlfriend pretends to strip in front of the camera but actually has clothes underneath her towel? Are you really that shocked? At this point I just block, but I just can't imagine people have that much time. 3. Recording people in need for clout. The notion that everybody needs to hustle and have a side hustle. Like it's okay that we are all supposed to be cheap ass used car salesmen hawking our wares with no shame or sense of self-respect. Edit. It also frustrates me to no end that people assume that because you are good at something or enjoy it, that you will also be good at and enjoy marketing and selling the thing. Two completely different skill sets. On that note, the idea that every one of your hobbies needs to be turned into a side hustle. No one is allowed to simply have hobbies that they love. You have to strive to be good enough to monetize it. Edit. I'm very happy I made this comment because I've had a wonderful time reading everyone's hobbies in the replies. I had a really bad day today and seeing people talk about what they love doing made it a lot better. Keep being your best selves. Recording strangers to see their reactions. You can't just buy something now. Everything is a subscription. First it was just Netflix. Then it was Dollar Shave Club. Now every TV channel is a separate subscription. Every household item wants to send it to you over and over again. Nothing is released physically. So the only way to watch a movie or check out a new album is to pay someone monthly. Services that were offered for free or one-time purchase are rescinded and now offered as subscriptions. It's so obvious that everyone and everything just wants to milk you as long and for as much as possible. And people just buy into it willingly. I know people who spend like $200 a month on shit that was free like 10 years ago. People are even offering themselves on a subscription base now. I can't believe how cool everyone is with watching all their money disappear all the time. Social media influencers asking for free items unsolicited. Then when of course they decline they threaten to, and in some cases do, leave bad reviews forcing the company to have to respond to false allegations for no reason. This is more work related. But it pisses me off how there is now a work culture of always being reachable by email or text for whatever happens. A lot of places expect you to be pretty much on call even when you're not at the office anymore. I worked at an ad agency where days off sometimes didn't even feel like that. Because I would still be getting emails about things and was expected to be checking them. There should be some level of balance between work and personal life, and I feel like that is fading because it's becoming more and more socially acceptable to adopt this type of culture. Justifying being an asshole with "it's just a prank." The "I'm going to disrespect my way to the top of the world" thing that Jake Paul is doing. Posting infographics regarding certain topics to try and prove you're educated on the topic. The whole Instagram influencer thing. Why are we following these people? In general. Just the fact that people aren't allowed to be private anymore. All your devices hook up to the internet. Your smartphone tracks you in God only knows how many different ways. Every business wants you to sign up for a rewards account, so they can harvest your contact details. Hell, even my PC and game consoles will rearrange my desktop just to show me advertisements. And if that wasn't enough, people give you strange looks when you tell them you have almost no social media presence. No Twitter. No Instagram. No Snapchat. No Facebook. Not to mention how people just get this confused look on their face whenever I get mad at them because they took a photo video of me without my knowledge or consent and put it on their social media. Honestly, it shocks me to see how little people care that privacy is disappearing. Having an opinion about everything. I don't think it pisses me off, but it baffles me. Heavy social media presence by ordinary people. I can't for the life of me understand why I'd follow some random person I've never met. I have actual people in my life, and I'm interested in them. A couple of days ago, I first heard the term "influencers." Ducking, really? Why would I base my children's upbringing on the opinions of some twit whose main attribute is the fact that she has time to do this shit? I have minimal social media presence. Because why would anybody care to follow me? This isn't low self-esteem, it's just reality. I'm a completely normal, average person and I know it. I don't fool myself into thinking the world at large would benefit from knowing what I think or do on any given day. I don't know if social media creates narcissistic people, or if it just reveals them. Thanks for the awards. I'd really rather not hear about how much money everyone either has or pretends to have. It's just depressing, even though I know I should ignore it and focus on myself. Entertainment has eaten everything. Politics. Personal relationships. Sexual intimacy. The yardstick has become not how good are you at something, but how good of a show are you putting on? Edit. Holy cats, this blew up far more than anything else I've ever posted. I guess I touched a nerve. Or a live wire. Thanks to all you folks out there in internet land who freely and generously gave your words to the cause. Everyone acting like experts on crazily complex topics because they either read a headline or one article that agrees with what they already believed. Taking Insta pictures and Snapchat stories of everything. Sure, your online persona will look like the cool kid, but people at a party who just lift up their phone to record every time something happens look hella dumb in my opinion. I'm exhausted with how vapid and fake social media is. Entitled social media influencers who contact businesses and practically demand free goods or services in exchange for exposure. That people think their lives need to be viewed to be lived. It's like privacy and being private are considered repressive. People are always online, posting about their lives, and everyone wants validation about every aspect of their lives. Just ducking Livosium. Influencers. I can't stand the term. It gives whatever dickhead thinks they are famous a feeling of superiority. Plus everyone seems to be an influencer and not actually engaging in proper life. My wife and I sometimes play influencer, which is essentially narrating everything we do in an influencer vlog type voice. So if I'm just fixing myself some cereal, it would be hey goo eyes. So today I thought I'd just share our morning rowdy and since so many of you keep asking about it. So, etc. Close bracket. It's great fun but also ducking annoying. 9/10 would recommend. Nobody is allowed to have hobbies anymore. If it's not a hustle you should be doing something else according to society. It's infinitely frustrating. When I get off work I'm going to play some damn video games and relax. Spontaneous FaceTime calls. I'm in my goddamn undies, stop shoving cameras in my face. Edit. And by that I actually mean when someone else nearby starts a FaceTime and assumes you want to be part of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or one like equals one prayer. Just please duck right off with that shit. Being shamed for everything you ever do. No matter who you are or what the thing is. Shamed for dire choices. Shamed for being wealthy, poor, middle class. Shamed for wanting a nice thing. Shamed for believing something radical. Shamed for not believing something radical. Shamed for doing this or that as a parent. Shamed for doing this or that as a pet owner. Shamed for not caring about or knowing enough about a certain social issue to have an opinion. Shamed for having a strong opinion. Shamed for not having a strong enough opinion. Shamed for enjoying something you have that others might not have. Shamed for not having a thing everyone has. You get the idea. Just let people be people. We're all different. Yeah. There are some real lowlifes among us. But most people are just trying their best. Gender reveal. People calling anyone over the age of 21 a boomer. The baby boomers are basically dead now. There are hardly any left pensioners now. I agree people over-apply how far the band goes, but there's certainly a lot of them left. Baby boomers are people who are now between the ages of 57-75 as of this year. That's a lot of people who are still very much alive. That includes a lot of people's parents or grandparents. Wokeness. People sacrificing their humanity for some dumb internet trend. Politics in everything. Sports. Movies. Even restaurants. FFS. I work in a massive corporation and our CEO is constantly weighing in on politics. STFU. Make our company more successful so I can make more money. Surprised my car wash doesn't have posters professing political views. Ducking Dumbus gotcha tattletale activism that targets random unknown people. I'm so ducking sick of seeing these obnoxious college students recording everything in the hope they can blast someone's face across the internet just for the purpose of ruining their lives. I've watched these little turds full on bait someone for God knows how long before they finally snap and either assault them or call them a horrible name just so they can edit the video. Frame it as I was just minding my own business when. And then the Twitter mob swoops in to perform its inquisitional duties, and before the sun rises, some poor person's entire life is irreversibly broken because some dipshit/activist was bored and wanted some internet street cred. This fake confidence bullshit. Standing with legs spread, back straight. All the silly nonsense from that TED talk. You cannot fake it until you make it. We keep getting people who apply for data analytics jobs that try that shit. No. You're not going to be able to fake basic statistics. You have to do the work. I kid you not. It's like 1 of 5 or 6 applicants try that shit. I see a lot of doctors on TikTok, Instagram doing do's don'ts of patient standards, and I don't feel comfortable with that. It almost makes me uncomfortable and wary of seeing a physician BC. I'm afraid they will judge me. Educating the public is one thing. Ridiculing patient experience because of something they are unaware of is another and should not be allowed by employers. Suppression of freedom of speech at universities doesn't set a good precedent for assertiveness and resilience in adult life. Cancel culture. We are literally becoming a society that would gladly give a second chance to murderers and arsons, but not someone who said one racist phrase 20 years ago while drunk. Hating straight white men because of skewed or misleading facts. And believing someone solely based on their race, creed, sex, or sexual identity. People should just treat each other like people. And get rid of these imaginary borders between us. Does your ethnicity and religion affect behavior? Yes. But not enough to generalize an entire group. Human behavior is complicated. More so than most other animals. Yet we just accept when someone says all white people are racist. All black people are thieves. All liberals want to take our rights. All conservatives are neo-Nazis. Democrats are bad. Republicans are bad. Men are all rapists. Women don't like nice guys, etc etc. It pisses me off to no end. That you can't call anyone on their bullshit anymore. Call out someone who happens to be gay. Now you're homophobic. Call out someone who is trans. Now you're transphobic. Call out someone who is a minority. Now you're racist. Call a woman Karen. Now you're sexist and racist. It never ends. TTY people are everywhere and we really need to bring back some public shaming. Basing your entire identity around your sexuality. Yes, you are gay, but what are your interests? What are you passionate about? What have you done to better the world? Another one of mine is plain articles of clothing like a t-shirt where the only thing on them is a large graphic of the logo of the brand that made it. See it a lot with Gucci. People are literally paying hundreds of their own money to be a walking advertisements for a company. The overgrowth of identity. There's nothing wrong with being any race, gender or sexuality, or any other thing. But it doesn't make you any more or legitimate or more of an authority on anything. I guess I'm just tired of all the deepening divisions. If you get too engrossed in your Ossa tribe, you'll lose sight of all the other people out there. Fake nails, those nasty inch long. It's my personality nails. The insert stupid here challenge. People calling everyone kings and queens. Requiring that everything be positive and not allowing anything negative. It is like a child sticking their fingers in their ears and pretending they can't hear something they don't like. Treating depression like a quirky personality type. Getting offended for other people. Ruining people's lives over something they said years ago when it was acceptable to say at the time. SJW. Woke. Virtue signaling. Whatever bullshit you want to call it, where you do good things only when someone is looking or you can prove it on social media. Cancel culture and wokeness. People recording themselves doing charitable acts like buying a meal or giving money to a homeless person. I can assure you that person does not want their face all over social media so you can get clout for being a good charitable person. Sure, do a good thing like helping the less fortunate, but you don't need to record it and have their face all over social media. Mostly everything. The fact that the internet has allowed absolute morons to connect with and influence each other. Conspiracy theorists. Anti-vax groups. Alternative medicine people. Essential oil idiots, etc. Seeing other people believing in their particular brand of hokum reinforces their beliefs and legitimizes their point of view. Before they would just be an idiot in their village. But the proliferation of the internet has allowed them to create global idiot villages. Everything has to be associated with politics now. People act like that's how it's always been. But it hasn't. Sometimes we all need a break from it. This infiltration of politics in every aspect of our lives is partly for our horrible modern culture and mass mental health issues. Normalization of PRN and sex industry to the point where a child that's just turned 18 and made of instantly is looked upon as a completely normal thing that should be encouraged. Influencers. Ghosting. Say it with your chest, please. As someone who has been ghosted, I would be much happier if someone texted me telling me to duck off rather than simply ignore me with no explanation. Not being allowed to grow wealthy. All the schemes. From education to jobs through real estate and insurance to pension. We need it. But only because high taxes and lack of access to stock markets. I mean, I am a lay Danish person at a major bank in a first world country. Yet 2/3 RDS of the fairly common stocks are unavailable for me to purchase. Because the banks don't earn enough on the smart investments. And even then, taxes take half the gains. If you live in the wrong municipality, taxes may be 3% higher. WTF. Social media and the rise of cancel culture. I understand that it is crucial, especially when fighting against big corporations, despotic governments, and other powerful entities. It is important we hold them accountable. However, these days it got too silly as it ruined the lives of many people. Some of which didn't even commit any violations in the first place. Social media got us hooked to this satisfying mob mentality that we don't know the values of repentance and forgiveness anymore. All this hate is misdirected to ordinary individuals instead of big entities. Cancel culture. Obviously. I hate seeing people helping strangers just to record them and record them crying. If you're going to help someone, help them. Don't make a spectacle out of them. While I'm sure they appreciate the help, I'm also sure they don't appreciate being made into a TV show for you to feel better about yourself. People thinking sass is a personality. Having to pick a team and agree with 100% of their opinions. I think in 10 years there are only going to be 2 personalities. Social media influencers. The docile ways available mentality. If I don't text back or if I ignore your call, whether it's personal or professional, it's probably because I'm doing something or do not have the mental energy to make decisions at that exact point in time. I will always get back to you, but it may not be immediate. I'm really worn out of the speed of decisions causing whirlwind effects downstream. Unless it's a straight up emergency crisis. It can wait. Weddings have turned into expensive choreographed social media productions worthy of Busby Berkeley. These shows empty pocketbooks and ruin friendships. It's gotten to the point where bridesmaids and groomsmen are expected to shell out thousands of dollars and use up their vacation time for multiple trips, while regular guests are told what color to wear. It's madness. Cancel culture. Social media posting equals life. This drives me bonkers. Why do people feel compelled to share every single detail about their life? Or every thought that comes into their brain with the rest of their friends' followers? Gender reveal parties. It's just another shameless excuse for a money grab, and nobody gives a duck if your baby has a wee wee or a hootie ha. Cancel culture. blowing things up without doing any research. So many people have been cancelled off of completely false evidence and struggled because of it. This might not be modern, but I hate the normalization of shitty mental health. Especially in men. So many times people are just told to suck it up and deal with it when that's the worst advice you could possibly give. Suicide rates are way higher than they should be and access to mental health treatment is so poor, at least where I live. And I really feel like a lot of this is due to a lack of understanding of how depression affects people.